Rule changes in Thailand. Thailand just made two major changes, and in typical Thai fashion, they happened quickly with almost no clarity and with everyone scrambling to understand exactly what they mean. One of these changes makes life noticeably easier. The other makes life noticeably tougher, and not for everyone, but both of them reveal something important about what this country is trying to do and where it's trying to go. Now, let me start with the alcohol issue, because honestly, it's been a long time coming. Now, I just did a live stream on Thursday about how they were going to start making the people drinking responsible for their actions. So if they were drinking from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the wrong area, they could be fined. Now that's not the case, okay? For decades, Thailand has had this somewhat bizarre alcohol sales ban where you can only buy at certain times of the day. I've never met a single Thai person who could actually explain why it existed, but it existed because of the military back in 1972. Most people don't even care. They just lived around it. You'd go to 7-Eleven at the wrong time and get that, "oh, sorry, cannot" response, even though the beer was sitting right there, practically glowing behind the fridge door. It was one of the most pointless, inconvenient, inconsistent rules this place has ever had. And to be quite honestly, more than one time I went to go buy some wine and also beer every once in a while at the grocery, but they also have a wine store, and I couldn't buy it because it was the wrong time. So now the explanation that they gave years ago was that it was to stop civil servants from sneaking out to get drunk at lunch. That's not a joke. That's the level of policy making we're talking about. And for some reason, it's stuck around for more than 5 decades, even when Thailand has moved past the era where these kind of rules made any sense. I don't know that it made sense back then even, but they're finally over. The new alcohol the new alcohol act took effect on November 8th, and immediately afterward, the government announced that the 2 to 5 p.m. ban would be reversed under a nationwide 6-month pilot program. That starts in early December, meaning the ban is effectively gone in a few weeks. Now, is there going to be any confusion? Of course, this is Thailand. There's always confusion. There's always flip-flops, and half the country will hear about it 3 weeks late, and there will be shops that still cling to the old rule because they're terrified of getting fined. But officially, legally, structurally, the ban is finished unless they decide to reverse it again. Now, this is a huge deal because it tells you Thailand is at least trying to adapt. The country wants tourism. It seems like that. It wants nightlife. It wants people spending their money. And they finally recognized that forcing the entire country to stop selling alcohol and stop drinking it at 2 p.m. is like kindergarten teachers confiscating toys, and it's not doing anyone any favors. Now, the irony is that Thailand still has alcohol restrictions at night, but those never bothered people as much because they're attached to nightlife hours. The afternoon ban, that's the one everyone complained about. Tourists hated it. Locals ignored it for the most part, and businesses, well, they are sick of it, and they've been sick of it. And when government officials quietly decided to speak, it was admitting that it was outdated. The only thing surprising is just how long it took to kill this law. But on the other hand, on a different subject, you have immigration. A completely different style of decision making. Instead of relaxing the rules, they're tightening them hard. And this time, I think they probably have it right. Thailand is limiting quick turnaround visa exempt entries. I still remember the times when people did it all the time. They were living here for 20, 30 years without any visa. Immigration officers are going to start pushing back on people who fly out in the morning, come back in the afternoon, and repeat the cycle. And the message is very clear. Those days are ending. Why is this? Simple, because of two groups of people that have ruined it. The first group is the scammers. You know, you hear about all the scams going on in Thailand now. My wife just told me today, she said, if someone comes with a package for you to pay for it, don't pay for it. Somebody tried to get me to do that today, so if someone comes to the house, don't pay for it. And this is happening all the time, okay, which is why I don't like answering the phone most of the time. Unless I know I'm expecting something, I don't answer the phone if I don't recognize the phone number. It's as simple as that. It's like, why are you calling my phone? You don't have the right to call me without a proper reason. Anyway, fake jobs, fake tours, human trafficking, document fraud, fake itineraries, visa manipulation, money laundering, all of it. Well, Thailand's border checkpoints have been dealing with a growing mess, and immigration is done with it. They're done. They're clamping down because the scams have become too blatant and too embarrassing to ignore. Now, the second group of people, they're the ones gaming the system, the long-term stayers who refuse to get a proper visa. The ones who think bouncing in and out every month somehow entitles them to live in Thailand indefinitely. This has been going on for many, many years. Even before I was living here. Some of these people, obviously, like I said, they've been doing it for years, and Thailand tolerated it. They've tolerated it for a long, long time, but apparently the abuse has become too obvious, and immigration wants clarity. Real tourists are welcome. People living here without the right paperwork are not. It's not complicated. If you behave like a tourist, you get treated like one. If you behave like a resident, then you need the visa that is proper, that is for someone who is indeed a resident. And if you behave like a scammer, well, they're going to kick you out. This change is not about punishing travelers. It's about stopping all the nonsense. Thailand has been talking about modernizing immigration for years, but this is the first real move in a long time that actually shows they're serious. Immigration officers know exactly what's going on. They've seen the patterns. Same people, same flights, same excuses, jumping over to Laos or Malaysia for one day and then coming straight back like it's a revolving door. And here's the truth. Thailand is done being a revolving door. You want to stay long-term, then get the proper visa. You want to live here full-time? Great. Get the documents. Do everything you're supposed to do. Dot your I's, cross your T's. But if the entire immigration strategy relies on outsmarting the system, your strategy is probably near dead. Now, let's put these two changes side by side because this is where the story gets interesting. On the alcohol side, Thailand is modernizing. They're listening to business owners and dropping rules that really never made sense. They're easing up. They're getting out of their own way, if you can believe that. On the immigration side, they're tightening control. They're closing loopholes. They're stepping up enforcement. They're drawing lines. It's the Thai balance, open with one hand, firm with the other. Thailand wants more tourists, more spending, more nightlife, more investment, more international attention. Dropping the ban helps with that. Thailand also wants less chaos, less abuse, less scamming, and less freeloading. Tightening immigration helps with that. Now, nothing really surprises me here, but Thailand is always trying to be two things at once. Welcoming, yet strict, modern and traditional, flexible and rigid. The country is trying to position itself for the future without losing face, without losing control, and without losing the revenue that it so depends on. But the truth is both changes make sense. Killing the 2 to 5 p.m. ban, that's Thailand saying we're tired of looking silly. I think that's what they're saying. Cracking down on quick visa hops, That's Thailand saying we're tired of being taken advantage of, and that's exactly what it is. For tourists, not much changes. For residents, it doesn't matter either. You already have your visa. For people living here on loopholes, the clock is ticking. And for businesses relying on afternoon alcohol sales, they're about to breathe easier. This is Thailand right now, adjusting, tightening, cleaning up, modernizing, and still trying to figure out what the hell it wants to be. But at least these two decisions show some direction. If you drink, the government just made your life easier. If you're a border scammer or a long-time loophole artist, the government just made your life a whole lot harder. And frankly, both moves were overdue.